This is TY, back with another video, and I wanted to talk today about the landscape of the welterweight division. The landscape of the welterweight division is just it's packed. It's packed full of great fighters, I believe. We just saw Boots Ennis just destroy Thomas Delorme here not too long ago, about what, a couple weeks ago, last week, a couple weeks ago, whatever. But and then we have the upcoming fight that's coming up November 20th with Shawn Porter and Terence Crawford, which is going to be very interesting to see how that fight plays out. Honestly, for me, I have the fight 50-50. I think the fight could go either way. I know a lot of people got Bud thinks Bud's going to beat Shawn Porter, and there's people out there that think Porter could beat Bud. And I think that's what makes this fight interesting, because to me, I think it's a 50-50 fight. You don't know how this fight is going to play out. But the winner of this fight, there's reports that Errol Spence, he might end up fighting whoever is the winner between the two. So it should be interesting, man, to see how this plays out. If Bud beats Porter, hopefully we can get the Spence and Terence Crawford fight that we all have been wanting for the last several years now. And that would be nice. It would be a unification fight. So that would be exciting. Then you have the Ugas situation where Ugas was supposed to fight Spence, but then, let me take this back. Well, Spence was supposed to fight Manny Pacquiao. Well, then Spence had an eye injury, a detached retina, so he couldn't fight the fight with Manny Pacquiao. So now, but Ugas took Errol Spence's place, and then Ugas beats Manny Pacquiao. So there was supposed to have been a unification fight between Spence and Ugas, but now Ugas is now being he has to fight a mandatory, and Staninonis or whatever his name is, but he has to fight that guy now, and they're having like a 4-man tournament or whatever. So that's taken away the chance of Ugas fighting Spence for a unification, which is just ridiculous. It's like they're doing everything. It's just boxing just does things backwards. They just do everything to mess up all the unification fights. I don't know why. Luckily we've gotten Josh Taylor to be unified champion at 140, and we've got Canelo to unify at 168. But it just seems like, it's just, sometimes boxing just does things backwards. I swear boxing does things backwards. I don't understand why they just don't just let these guys fight for undisputed, for crying out loud. And politics and promoters and even fighters, they get in the way of these things. And it's just like, man, now is the time for these fights to happen. You've seen delays in fights to where fights that we could have had, we probably won't be able to get. Years of fantasy matches. Oh, I wonder how this fight is going to play out between this fighter and that fighter. And then there's always something that gets in the way of these two fighters fighting. These guys, they wait. They play this waiting game, and then before you know it, it's too late. The fight ain't what it used to be, or what it could have been had they would have fought, maybe in their 20s or in their early 30s or whatever. But these guys are waiting way too long. And, promoters and, even the IBFs and the WBCs and all these sanctioning bodies even get in the way of these fights happening, which is just ridiculous. But back to the topic at hand, the welterweights. So it's going to be interesting, man, to see how this Porter and Crawford fight plays out, because we'll see what happens. If Spence comes back and he wants to fight the winner of Porter and Crawford, that would be great. That would be wonderful, because then that's another unification fight right there that could be made. Also, you got the young guys, like I just mentioned. Boots is coming up. You also got what's his name, Ortiz, that's coming up. So Virgil Ortiz, that's his name. So you got some upcoming welterweights, man, that are coming up in the ranks and feel like they're ready to fight the top dogs of the welterweight division. And I'm interested to see where are they at. Are they, let's see what happens with them. Then there's a guy that I haven't mentioned, Keith Thurman. What is he gonna do? He hasn't fought in almost 3 years. His last fight, he lost to Manny Pacquiao. He got knocked down. He got hit with shots left and right against Manny Pacquiao. So it's going to be interesting to see what is Keith Thurman going to do. At this point, I want to see Keith Thurman get back in the ring, man. I just don't know. I would love to see him fight Boots. I would love to see him fight. I just want to see him get back in the ring and see what he's going to do. I don't know. I don't know if he's going to get a tune-up. I really don't know what Keith Thurman is going to do at this point. Keith Thurman has been out for almost 3 years. He hasn't, he's done a lot of talking, but it ain't been no actions, I mean, don't know if he's injured or what's going on with him at this point. But I'm interested to see, where, what Keith Thurman is going to do, and how is he going to come back? Is he going to do a tune-up fight? Is he going to step right back in the fire and fight one of these young guys? Or what is he going to do? It's going to be interesting to see. And this is why this makes the welterweight division so interesting, because you got all these good fighters, man, in this division. And I think it's going to be exciting, man, to see how this stuff plays out in the end. I want to see unification, for the division. I want to see who comes out on top. Errol might be the guy that comes out on top. I like Errol Spence, man. I think he's a dog. I like Bud too. Bud is also a dog. So it would be interesting, man, to see how this plays out in this welterweight division, because there's too many good fighters, man, and there's not only too many good fighters, but there's also too many good fights out there to be made between these guys. They can mix and match. A lot of these guys could make trilogies. A lot of these guys they can make a lot of paydays, man, with each other, man, if they just decide to just finally get in the ring once and for all. But I am happy and I am excited to see the Shawn Porter and Terence Crawford fight. A lot of people didn't even want to see this fight, and they just didn't want to see this fight for some odd reason. I don't know why. I think this is a very competitive fight. Shawn Porter always comes to fight. In every one of his fights, every fight he's been in, even the fights that he's lost, it's been close. And we already know about Terence Crawford. He's, like I said, he's a dog. He's a switch hitter. He's orthodox. He can fight southpaw. Man, he's just a talented, great fighter, man. Pound for pound, the best fighter. He's the pound for pound best fighter in the world. He's done it all. He's unified at 140, and he's even held a belt at 135. So it would be interesting to see how this fight plays out between these two guys. I'm excited for this fight. I think it's next Saturday. I'm excited for it. I can't wait for it. And I just want to see how the landscape of this division is going to play out in the end. Like I said, you got the young talent coming, and they're looking to go after these big dogs. And unfortunately, I know that that's not going to happen anytime soon, because they have to, first of all, they still got some things they got to get some tune-up, more fights that, show that they can prove that they up there, and then they already, feel like that they're there. So we'll see what happens. And then with Keith Thurman, I don't know, hopefully he comes back, next year, and maybe take a tune-up fight, or maybe he goes into the fire and fights one of these guys. I don't know. I hope that he comes back. It's been too long. He's been off for way too long, and I don't know if he's dealing with injuries or what's going on with him, but or if he's just secretly retired. I mean, who knows at this point? I mean, hopefully he gets back in the ring. Hopefully he redeems himself after that loss to Pacquiao, because that just wasn't a good look for him. I thought that he was going to beat Manny Pacquiao, so, and he lost that fight. So comment below, tell me what you guys think, just about, we could talk, you can comment about the Bud fight, you can comment about who you think is going to come out on top, like the video, subscribe to the channel. I mean, subscribe to the doggone channel, man. Subscribe to the channel and like the video as well. Please like the video. And also, you can follow me at Southpaw Boxer 77 on Instagram as well. I'll be over there as well. But yeah, just like the video, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think, man, about who y'all think is gonna come out on top of the welterweight division, and what do you guys see in the future? Because I'm excited about